I told my mother she can give me parenting advice the day her own children decide to start speaking to her again. She showed up unannounced last Tuesday while I was making lunch for my daughter. Emma had just spilled juice all over her math homework and was absolutely sobbing. We had exactly 20 minutes before the bus came, and I was kneeling next to her trying to stay calm while helping her rewrite the problems on a fresh sheet of paper. That's when my mom walked in. She has a key for emergencies, but apparently she thinks I felt like stopping by counts as an emergency now. She didn't even say hello, just walked straight into the kitchen, looked at Emma crying, looked at me on the floor with markers and paper everywhere, and immediately started shaking her head. You coddle her way too much. When you were her age, if you made a mess like this, I would have made you redo the entire thing yourself while standing in the corner. No help, no coddling. That's how you learn responsibility. I took a deep breath and kept helping Emma. I showed her how to rewrite the first problem, told her it was okay, accidents happen. My mom stood there with her arms crossed, watching us like we were performing some kind of failed experiment. She's never going to learn if you keep babying her like this, she continued. You're too soft. That's your problem. Always has been. I still didn't respond. Emma finished copying the second problem, and I gave her a high five. She smiled a little through her tears. Progress. But my mom wasn't done. She walked over to the counter where I'd cut Emma's sandwich into triangles and made this disgusted sound. Triangles? Really? You're still cutting her food for her? She's 7 years old. When you were 7, you made your own lunch. That wasn't even true, but I let it slide. I focused on Emma, making sure she got all her homework into her backpack. She was calming down. We were going to make it. Then my mom grabbed the juice box I'd set out for Emma's lunch. And this? Pure sugar. You're setting her up for cavities and diabetes. I never let you have juice boxes. You drank water and you turned out fine. I turned out fine? The audacity of that statement almost made me laugh, but I kept my mouth shut and zipped up Emma's backpack, checking the time. 15 minutes until the bus. My mom kept going. You know what your problem is? You want to be her friend instead of her parent. That's why she doesn't respect you. That's why she cries over spilled juice. You've made her weak. Something inside me snapped. I stood up slowly, walked Emma to the living room, turned on her favorite show, and told her I'd be right back. Then I went back into the kitchen where my mother was now rearranging my cabinets like she owned the place. Mom, I said quietly, I need you to leave. She spun around looking shocked. Excuse me? I'm just trying to help you. Someone needs to tell you the truth about your parenting before you completely ruin that child. That's when I said it. Word for word, exactly as I'd been holding it in for years. You can give me parenting advice the day your own children decide to start speaking to you again. The kitchen went completely silent. She just stared at me, mouth slightly open, like I'd slapped her across the face. That's cruel, she finally whispered. Is it? I asked. Is it cruel to point out that my brother hasn't spoken to you in 4 years? That he changed his phone number and didn't give you the new one? Is it cruel to mention that my sister moved 2,000 miles away specifically to get distance from you? Her face was turning red now. That's different. They're being dramatic. They'll come around. They won't, I said. And honestly, I only tolerated these visits because I thought Emma deserved to know her grandmother. But maybe I was wrong about that too. You can't be serious, she said, her voice shaking. I'm completely serious. You spent my entire childhood criticizing everything I did. Nothing was ever good enough for you. I wasn't smart enough, wasn't obedient enough, wasn't perfect enough. You made me feel worthless every single day. And you did the same thing to my siblings. She tried to interrupt, but I kept going. Do you know what my earliest memory is? I was 5 years old, and I drew you a picture at school. I was so proud of it. I ran up to show you, and you looked at it for maybe 2 seconds before telling me I'd colored outside the lines and I needed to do better. I threw that picture away. I never drew anything for you again. Tears were streaming down her face now, but I couldn't stop. You want to know why Emma cries when she spills juice? Because I tell her it's okay. Because I tell her accidents happen and we can fix them together. Because I never want her to feel the way you made me feel. Like every mistake was proof I was a failure. My mom grabbed her purse with shaking hands. I was trying to make you strong. You were trying to make us perfect, I said. And instead, you made us miserable. So no, Mom, you don't get to walk into my house and tell me I'm doing it wrong, because at least my daughter actually wants me around. She walked toward the door, then turned back one last time. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret, I said, is not saying it sooner. She left.